All right, I'm back. We're going to work on this 262, but before we do that, I want to get to this muffler that I welded up. And everybody's going to make fun of me for it, but that's okay. This is the 272 I put together recently. And so Sammy wants this. So he's already sent me bar and chain goodies. But before we get there, you put the muffler on. And there's a bracket to the muffler too, which is somewhere around here. Somehow, get a bracket for that thing. Here, I know it's here. While we're waiting so we can find that, I'll bring it up here. That way we can see comments. Here's the pates. Is this Jason or is it Chris? Or do I have both? I'm sure I have both. Which is just fine. There's a bracket here somewhere. I should have a bunch of them, truthfully. I'm pretty sure I have a bunch of these things. Exhaust bracket. I'm pretty sure I even had one set aside. Don't think it's in here. Just silly. This is terrible. Never find anything when I want it. Alright, you know what? We're not going to worry about that for right now. Well, let's pull the muffler off. We'll put the new one on gingerly and just make sure how it looks, you know. Hey, Tim. Your thunderstorm in effect. Okay, great. Don't want the phone to rotate. I know. We have a great organizational system. We're not worried about any of that. You know, as I build things, I also find things. You know, it's kind of the way things just generally get done around here. You know, why would it be in that pile instead of this one, or this one instead of that one? Who knows? I do know that generally it's kind of the pile system, you know. I put one pile here for this stuff, another pile there for that stuff, and sometimes it works and sometimes it apparently doesn't. That's too small. Next. There we go. Brand new. So Sammy's going to get this muffler, which is OEM, I think, and this one. Oh dear. There's something wrong with that. Well, I welded up a nice 288 muffler. Ah, jeez. All right. Well, now I gotta find a 272 muffler and weld that up. Oops. Ah, here's the bracket. I found the bracket. Knew something looked off, you know. It's just, what the heck? Yeah, that's the one. Oh dear. Okay. Let's check and make sure that this is indeed 272. Yeah, looks like it. That'll work. So I have to yeah. So I guess I'll weld that one up. Okay. Fine. Put this over here. Oh, sorry guys. All the parts I'll need. And then I'll figure out how to get this welded up. And that'll be another day. Okay. Oops. Anybody want a 288 muffler? All right. Hey, Ed. Yeah, I gotta have fun with this stuff, otherwise you're just gonna cry. So somehow this saw got hot, something's up, piston's cooked. I'm just gonna toss that. And I do too. I'm just gonna get rid of this. Let's see if we can impact the clutch off. So something's up with this whole thing. Got lucky there. Don't always get quite so lucky. Case half's in pretty nice shape. I think somebody put the dog on upside down. It looks upside down. Whatever, doesn't matter. Alright, let's pull the flywheel here. take the pawls off. It does make things a little easier sometimes. Okay. We need a new pawl post, unless I can somehow get that out, which I doubt. Alright, I guess it's time for speed outs. It looks like it's pretty well engaged, actually. It's close. What I need is this. Stop. It doesn't move. Let's see if I can do this. I gotta go a little further. Hey, David. Gotta watch some chase. Yeah, watch chainsaw stuff. I'm pulling out a pawl post. I don't really have these strip out on me. I don't know why this one did, but... wasn't even full of gunk or nothing. Drill it down just a little further. And that's pretty hard. And that's dull. Goodbye. So I'm using the these easy outs or speed outs or whatever had pretty good luck with these over the years. Got it. Ball, spring, and washer. And that post is done. Oh, I'm not putting anything together. We're pulling this apart. I'll put things together some other time. I get to get this apart and cleaned up. Goes in there. Okay. Right, now we got to pull this somehow. Now, I have this nifty-difty puller, but I don't know if it's wide enough. Is it wide enough? Oh, yeah, it is. Okay, we're good. This thing's gotten a little bent, but it does actually work pretty good. So what I need to do is I actually need to recreate this this part on the mill, just something thicker. And a little bit longer, but wider and thicker. Get a nice piece, you know. Okay. Get a nice bite in here. Make sure it's even. I do have a splinter in my thumb. Okay. That later. Weather's getting bad here, I think. I think it's supposed to get bad anyway. Ooh. What's that? Who sent this to me? Was this Alan? Alan usually sent this. I have to make one. That's the truth. I need to make one. Something like that's serious, you know. Because this is a Chinese toy. It's not for serious puller, you know. Okay. Forgot to check to see if we actually have more to make more. A little bit, but not enough to write home about. Okay. Put those screws there so that I get lost. I might as well pull the seal holder right now. Wow, that's a oh, Shoot, that's loose. Heck, that's loose too. That might be why the saw got hot. Something came loose here. Look at that. Yep, I can turn that by hand for the seal holder. I lift this up. No problemo. Hard as a rock, these seals. You guys that are getting used saws and not rebuilding them, kind of a problem. Tornado 20, wow, really? Look how cruddy the bearing looks. So, stop paying too much for used saws. Start rebuilding everything. Well, you know what I mean? You guys hear me? Hopefully you guys hear me. I don't know. Yeah, it's basically the same thing. You're right, Ed. Well, rubber goes. I mean, it doesn't last forever. Rubber stuff does not last forever. What are you really expecting here, you know? On these saws, like usual, there's a lot of work to do. Not saying it's not worth it. It's just that you find things like this. That used to be an AV mount. You find missing stuff like this. There's a rubber piece that goes in there. You got a buggered piece here for this whole thing needs to be replaced. It's all off kilter. But the rubber here is about to die. You're missing a chain catcher. You know, name something here that needs, doesn't need replaced. Just about everything does. So if you paid top dollar for something like this, bad news. If you got it for free, hey, okay. Now we're talking. But even then, some saws, even if they're free, still cost you an awful lot to get back running. So do some basic math, guys. Do some basic math. What's this, what's this thing worth in nice running shape? A few $100? 262, highly desirable, but is it really worth big money? Probably not. Maybe $400, $500, maybe $600. It's ported, Super nice, new old stock, 750, 800. So those are numbers that you're kind of talking about. Not worth a pile of gold. Because these just end up being a pile of work. Head needs a little bit of cleanup, but this is lucky. And there's all kinds of debris in here. What the heck happened? Ooh. Debris of something. So have a look at this. Flashlight here. You guys see that? Yikes. Not too bad a transfer. But there's pieces of something in there. $40. That's not bad, Ed. Not bad. But here's where the money is to be made in saws. Parting stuff out. You get a deal like that for $40. Go and part it out on eBay. Somebody will buy the crankcases for 75 or $90 or whatever. You know, you can double your money pretty quick. The piston's obviously shot. Small piston. Is the pin bearing okay? Yes. That's good. Alright. So let's pull the rest of it apart. See what we got. Have to check and see. It looks like it's upside down. I could be wrong. Don't remember. Okay, the anterior bolts are indeed case bolts, so don't forget to pull those out like I did one day. Oops. So this pawl is all bent here. That's all screwed up. I need a new pawl. Worm's okay. That's good to see. So the next trick is getting the pump off here, and there is a trick to it. So these are 3mm screws here. If you're going to do them with the impact, that's fine, but I prefer to feel them and start them kind of by hand here. There's still debris inside here. Try to get it out. Those are started by hand. lift. Okay, there's a couple of spots here you can actually put M5 screws down and it'll lift it up, but if that doesn't, if just lifting it doesn't work, then that'll work. Sometimes lifting it just works. Kind of gunky or what? So nice to see on these, there's this little rubber piece, looks like a piece of fuel line, which you can use, by the way, but it goes behind the oiler here. A forgotten piece. It just adds to the cost of a rebuild if you need new. This one looks fine, so I think it'll be fine. Just gonna put these screws back here temporarily so we don't lose them. One, two, three. One back here, don't forget that. It's a little shorter. Looks more like a head bolt. Clear out the head. There we go. Should be ready to split. Let's split it. So this is a Chinese case splitter that I've modified with a 5/8 threaded rod here, just to make it more robust. This just pushes and it's fine. Sometimes you got to give this a little pop on the end here. But David, you need an excuse to have a saw? Come on. I have half an acre. Like 15 chainsaws. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, the bearing cage came apart. That's why this failed. That's what the debris was. We'll show you guys that in a second. Sometimes this side takes a little more persuasion. You get a little pop. Tight. Just a little pop. positioning pins, don't lose those. Yeah, there's the bearing cage. There you have it. Point of failure. Most likely that. Or the saw got hot and wrecked the bearing. That's possible too. Ran lean and then wrecked the bearing. Crank okay. Crank should be fine. Okay, now we got a problem. And that is how you get this bearing out of there. Don't worry, I've got a solution. You guys have to go back to my peanut butter trick, which we don't actually need peanut butter, but so now is the ideal time to basically clean the crankcases. But before we do that, let's pop the seal out. These are single lip seals. God, are they hard. Alright, I'm going to take these screws out of here temporarily. And we're actually going to use case halves themselves. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to position the balls as if there's a cage, okay? You have to get these things like sort of equidistant from each other, and then you have to hold them there with something. I think technically speaking you can do it with 3, but the easy way to do this is to pack this with grease. Again, you just want to use something kind of viscous to hold the balls in place. You'll see what I'm doing here in a minute. Now we're going to put the case halves back together. And they'll go. Threaded rod. these screws too temporarily. With a nut on the end, slide it through. Now we're going to use this side here to pull it through. Scranch, 3/4 inch nut, so scranch will hold it. And the bearing's going to come right out, watch. Done. As long as the balls are fairly equidistant, you'll get it. Otherwise, it's really hard to tap out, or you need a bearing puller tool specifically for that particular instance, which they do have, but I'm just going to reverse this. All these washers and nuts back on here. Again, do the other side. Our bearings are pulled. Now we can clean these. Yay! All right, I'm going to put these in the sink. I'll be right back. I'm going to throw these right in the junk, but as long as you hold the bearing sort of equidistant around, you can use the inner race to pull it out. That's what we're doing here. All right. I'm going to do all the cleanup, which no particular fun, but whatever, we'll do that. I'll do that some other day myself. Okay. No heat, waiting for cases. Right, no heat. You can do it with heat. That's fine. Sometimes you just hit it with the heat and then they tap out. But also it gets dangerous because it's oily here. You know? So, there's that. This is a lot less dangerous. It will. Ed, do you have a set of crank tools yet? I forget. Once you get a set of tools, you'll be tearing apart cases so fast because you know you can get them back together easy. That's the thing about the crank tools that makes them so special, is that they just give you so much ambition. Just all of a sudden, you just get all kinds of ambition, and you can just do all kinds of stuff because you know you can get it back together. It's just a completely different way of building saws. I remember building them before. I was just like, oh, I don't want to have to split the case, you know? Don't want to do that. Here, I'll split a case in a heartbeat because you can put it right back together with the tools. No problem. Just about, you know, you have to clean stuff up, but, you know, clean stuff up however much you like and then put things back together. Yeah, no joke. It's huge. You're right. So I gotta check with Mason and see what he wants to do with this particular 262. Um, there's a lot of work to be done here, and a lot of parts that it needs. That's for sure. So anyway, um, I think that's it. I think I'll call it a night. You guys need anything else? Any questions? When you, I don't know. I don't know. I've been working a lot, so I worked 6 days this week. This next day is a 4 day week, which isn't too bad. Usually I get a break. Like Wednesday night, I might have a little bit of a break, but it depends on how much ambition I get too. You know. You still got the um, yeah. So if I get some ambition, maybe Wednesday, because it Wednesday's a bit of a shorter day for me. So. Well, Ed, the splitter tools. So here's what you can do for the splitter, the C clamp style case splitter that I got there. That you can get at HL Supply, or you can get from your local Husqvarna dealer. You can get the aftermarket one like I did, and then I upgraded it. I just used a 5/8 coarse thread tap and actually used a piece of threaded rod. That gives me a more robust rod there. The OEM Husqvarna tool is pretty good supposedly, and it's not that much more expensive than the aftermarket one. Um, so that's for splitting, but if you're doing assembly, that's different. You'd contact me for the assembly tools. David, take care. Okay. So you contact me for the actual crank tools. I supply you with those. If you're building like the general gamut of 372s and 660s and 026s and you know, 44s. Yeah, my email. Hang on, I'll put it up. Okay. Do I have my link to HL Supply? No, my link. Ed, do you have my link to HL Supply? Because if you use my link, then and it's in most of the live chats. Um, my link to HL Supply basically means that I get a percentage of whatever you buy there. So it's the easiest way to support the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. You just use my link. Let me pull it up. Hang on. Let's see if I can pull it up. I'll pull up the link here. Hang on. So everybody click that. If you're watching, just click the link. It tracks you for like a month. Um, yeah. And that way I get some credit for it, and the easiest way to support the channel. Then basically they give me some credit and I go buy some cool stuff and then usually share it here. Sean, have a great night. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, I'll try to be on more. I've had a rough year. I'll try to be on more though. Sounds good. Okay, guys, I'm gonna take off. Do I have an Amazon link? No, I don't. That's not true. I have an Amazon wish list somewhere. It's in some of my old bolt for bolt videos, I think, in the description. I have not up. It's like one of those like silly wish lists. It was like, hey, buy me DeWalt batteries or something like that. I forget. You're right. There should be something like that. I don't have one. Maybe if I get my act together, I'll find one. So anyway, let me go. I will catch you guys later. Have a great night. Thanks so much for coming, and we'll catch you guys soon. Be safe, everybody.